Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone, wherever you're at in the world. Welcome to Last Raps Baseball's live commentary of the Nippon Professional Baseball League. Tonight, we're going to be bringing you the third and final game of the series between the Chiba Lotte Marines and the Hokkaido Nippon-Ham Fighters. Last night, the Marines were able to get the victory with a two-run shot in the top of the ninth inning off the bat of Toshiya Sato. Ended up pacing the Marines to the victory. Tonight, they're turning to Andre Jackson. See if they can win the series. Kohei Arihara will go for the Fighters. And we'll give you the starting lineups, first of all, for the visitors from Chiba. Leading off tonight, and in center field is number 1, Kyota Fujiwara. Batting second in right field is number 6, Mishima Nishikawa. Hitting third at third base is number 10, Kyoto Uedo. The cleanup spot in left field is number 51, Koki Yamaguchi. Batting fifth and doing the catching is number 32, Toshiya Sato. Batting sixth and doing the designated hitting is number 99, Neftali Soto. Batting in the seventh spot at first base is number 5, Hisanori Yasuda. Hitting eighth at second base is number 57, Ryusei Ogawa. And batting ninth, the shortstop, number 38, Tsuyoshi Yamazaki. And they're going to be facing Kohei Arihara, who takes to the hill with a 2-6 record. He has worked 46 in the third innings. He's allowed 56 hits, 36 runs, 30 been earned, walking 16 and striking out 30 while pitching to a fluffed up 5.83 earned run average. Now your starting lineup for the home team from Hokkaido, leading off tonight and playing shortstop is number 43, Tetsuki Mizuno. Batting second and in center field is number 56, Ryohei Hosokawa. Batting third and doing the designated hitting is number 99, Franmil Reyes. And the cleanup spot and in right field is number 66, Chusei Manami. Batting fifth at first base is number 21, Kataro Kiyomiya. Batting in the sixth spot in left field is number 5, Yuki Nomura. Hitting seventh at third base is number 39, Naoki Arizono. Batting eighth at second base is number 4, Daigo Kawabata. And batting at ninth and doing the catching, number 33, Yuyo Shinto. And they'll be facing Andre Jackson. The American takes to the hill with a 7-6 record. He's worked 104 in the third innings. He's allowed 84 hits, 42 runs, 39 have been earned, while walking 39 and striking out 97, pitching to a 3.36 earned run average. Those are your lineups, and we are ready to get ourselves underway in just a couple of moments. The first pitches are just being completed, and we are ready to go in just a couple of moments. Hang with us, everybody. It is Marines and Fighters on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel.
I hear you been asking about me, where I've been and where I sleep. It's hard to find me if you really want to. Turns past that takes a cool sign. Same podcast, same old boots, trying to outrun the thought of you.
Hello, this is Eric Fox, formerly of the Oakland A's and Texas Rangers baseball teams. If you want to learn about Japanese baseball, see Coach Fred of Last Raps Baseball. If you want baseball instruction, see Coach Fred. If you want to learn about golf, do not go to Coach Fred. Fred, what kind of club is this?
At Last Raps Baseball, we know baseball. That's right, everybody. We know baseball, and this one is about to get underway in just a couple of moments, but there is breaking news out of Major League Baseball as the biggest domino to fall has fallen, and that would be Tarik Skubal. Tarik Skubal is now a member of the Los Angeles Dodgers. No real shock there. And in return, it's going to be River Ryan, Zaire Hope, and Brady Smith. And they are going to be going the other way to the Tigers. That is the latest report. And that is what we are seeing there. So if you guys are interested, that is the case. Kohei Arihara has completed his tune-up tosses, and we are ready to get this one underway. It is first pitch here between these two ball clubs in just a moment. Wondering if the dome is open tonight. It's a very, they've got a lot of sunlight here in this one, and see if they are going to have opened the dome or if it is going to be the roof closed for this. I've only seen a couple of times that it's been open. First pitch of the ball game, delivered, swung on, lifted into left field. Roof is open. Moving over underneath it is the left fielder, and it is going to be hauled in by Yuki Nomura. So we got one pitch, and we got one away here to start the ball game, as Fujiwara has flown out to left field to get things going. That is going to bring up the right fielder, and Misho Nishikawa. Defensively tonight for the Fighters, from left to right field, it is Nomura in left. The center fielder is Hosokawa, and in right field it's Manami. Around the horn from first to third, Kiyomiya's at first. At second, it's Kawabata. The shortstop is Mizuno, and at third, it is Arizono, with the battery of Arihara and Shinto. The pitch is a breaking ball and misses down and away to Nishikawa. Count is 1-0. So 1 ball, no strikes. Nishikawa batting from the right side here against the right-handed throwing Arihara. There's a fastball swung on. It is chopped over the glove of the pitcher. Fielded by the second baseman, Kawabata, ranging to his right. He throws to first. Nishikawa is retired on a ground out 4-3 for out number 2. One of the things that you're going to have to get used to here is just the way that the sunlight is on the field. The pitcher and the hitter are in the shade. The second baseman and the shortstop, Kawabata and Mizuno, are in the sunlight, so it is an interesting configuration. There's a first pitch fastball delivered to Uedo, swung on, grounded softly to second, fielded on his knees by Kawabata. He throws to first, and that is going to do it. It's a ground out 4-3 for the third out of the inning, and the Marines go quietly in their half of the first. No runs in the inning, no hits, no errors, nobody left the board. We are through a half inning. It is the Marines no score, the Fighters coming to bat. Stay with us, everybody. We'll be back with all the action on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel in just a few. Appreciate you for jumping in with us tonight. And hopefully you guys will stay with us for the entire duration of this one. We'll be back in just a bit.
Do you hear that? My sanity about to break while everyone I know's out. On a trip, on a boat, on a lake. I'm tired of feeling all FOMO, babe. I don't even care if we stay home. Put our to-do list on ice. We crank the AC to 79 and make
Welcome back, everybody. It is Andre Jackson taking to the hill here for the Marines in the bottom half of inning number 1. He'll be slated to face Mizuno, Hosokawa, and Reyes. To get things going, Hosokawa homered in last night's game, and when we did the game a week ago from Saturday, he also homered in that one. And so he has been performing very well. He's hitting .296 on the season with 8 homers and 35 runs driven in. He has also swiped 10 bases at this point in the season. So he has nestled into that leadoff spot, and he is starting to be very productive in that spot and setting the table for the Fighters. So here comes the first pitch from Andre Jackson. It's a fastball swung on. It is popped up over on the third base side. It's in foul territory, playable. Underneath it is Uedo, and with one pitch, we've got one away here to start the first inning. So one gone, and that is going to bring up the center fielder in Ryohei Hosokawa. As we were talking about the Tigers and making that trade of Skubal to the Dodgers, a lot of Tiger fans probably already gone to bed this time of the night, but they'll be waking up tomorrow morning with news that their big star pitcher is no longer a Tiger. There's a fastball missing inside. The count is 1-0 to Hosokawa. Hosokawa batting from the left side, batting .271 with a couple of homers and 9 runs driven in. Jackson kicks and delivers. It is a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count runs even to 1-1. Marines are back with their black tops and the white pants. They've got Chiba splashed across their front of their jerseys. And it was the traditional home whites for the Fighters with a little bit of blue and gold trim, as that pitch is a changeup that is swung on and missed, and the count goes now to 1-2 on Hosokawa. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Jackson ready to go again. As he kicks and delivers, there's a breaking ball swung on, and it's chop foul right behind home plate. And the count remains at 1-2. Jackson spent his first couple of seasons with Yokohama, now in a Chiba uniform. Not exactly having the best peripheral numbers this year, but he is still a steady, productive starter for the Marines. There's a fastball that misses down, and the count goes to 2-2. Our friend Tink in the house today, and he says, who do you like today? Well, to be honest with you, this is a pretty good pitching matchup on paper, although Jackson has the edge this season over Arihara. But I personally think that the Fighters are going to win the series here today, as that breaking ball misses down and in, running the count full to Hosokawa. So that is my thoughts. Our friend the Chave says he's always wanted to see if Chiba would wear the USMC camo theme jersey for a game or two, but probably not going to happen. There's a pitch that is swung on and chopped foul over on the first base side. And the count remains at 3-2 to Hosokawa. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. I have to admit, the stadium in Chiba is probably one of my least favorite stadiums that I've attended in Japan. It reminds me of that multi-purpose type stadium that used to be in North America back in the 70s and the 80s, like Riverfront or Three Rivers Stadium. You know, it's just sort of a bowl and people go and attend. There's nothing that gives you a feel of that it's a baseball stadium. There's a breaking ball swung on and sliced foul into the seats down the third base line. Our friend Big Ray in the house tonight. We appreciate you for popping in. Haven't seen you around in a while there, Big Ray. I'm on the East Coast. I say East Coast. I'm on the in the Midwest right now, so that would be the way I would put it. So doing a road game. There's a fastball swung on and missed, and Hosokawa down on strikes for the second out of the inning. So 2 up and 2 away, and that'll bring up the designated hitter in Franmil Reyes. As far as the other games today and what there would be around the NPB in terms of other games that maybe we like and don't like, I would probably say the game between the Eagles and the Hawks, I'm still leaning everything Hawks. The Eagles are not a very good team right now to watch. There's a fastball swung on. It almost takes the head off of Jackson. Ends up on a couple of bounces over to the second baseman, Ogata, who fields it and throws to first. And Franmil Reyes is in the books on the ground out 4-3. He's gone for the third out of the inning, and that's going to do it here for the Fighters in their half of the first. They too go in order, 1-2-3. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board. We are 9 minutes into the game, and we're already moving to the second inning. We'll be right back in just a few. It is Marines and Fighters when we return right after this musical timeout. Appreciate you for hanging in here with us on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. Here is our musical renditions for you, and we'll be back in just a few.
So high, feet on the ground.
Welcome back, everybody. It is our friend Titus in the house here tonight as well. And Big Ray says, what are you doing in this part of the country? Come back to see some folks and see how they're doing, as they have been just come back to pay a visit. It is that time of the year. Our friend Tink asked the question, do you think the game will be high scoring tonight? No, I don't. And there was a first pitch fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into deep left field. It's going to get over the head of the left fielder. And that is Nomura, who fields it off the wall, but able to hold Koki Yamaguchi to a long single. As he played the wall to effectiveness, it's going to be a base hit single for Yamaguchi. And that'll bring up the catcher in Toshiya Sato. Yamaguchi, Sato, and Soto to get things going here in the second inning. Another good swing by Yamaguchi. Had a couple doubles in last night's game. He is really swinging the bat well. Our friend Zero says, did you see the Skubal trade? Yeah, we did. Talked about a little bit at the outset. The River Ryan and Zaire Hope, we've been hearing those names for quite a bit, as there's a cutter that misses inside to Sato for a ball. The other pitcher I'm not overly familiar with. I have to go back and take a look at who that is. So they say that Hope should be major league ready pretty much anytime soon. There's a fastball taken for a called strike. The count's 1-1 to Sato. What do I think about it? Well, I think very similar. You got River Ryan coming off of Tommy John surgery, major surgery. Pitched well in his, 4 big league games that he was appeared in. Was it last year at the beginning or the year before? There was a fastball missing inside. The count goes to 2-1. But I hope it really doesn't turn out to a Verlander-type trade where the Tigers moved Verlander a few years ago. They got Franklin Perez, who never could lift his arm over his shoulder after acquiring him. Jake Rogers, who they DFA'd this week and subsequently traded to Baltimore. There's a fastball swung on, lifted into left field. Underneath it is the left fielder Nomura. He's there to make the catch. And Sato gone for the first out of the inning. It's going to bring up Neftali Soto. And the other fellow that was involved in the trade, I have to go back and take a look. The other pitcher, it wasn't Singer, or obviously I'm thinking of Brady Singer. Really don't know what kind of comment to make on that. But when I was thinking of the trade with Verlander, they had Franklin Perez, they had Jake Rogers, and they had Daz Cameron. And it ended up basically only turning into a Jake Rogers trade. And the rest, Daz Cameron still bouncing around in Korea and different places. Franklin Perez, the jewel alarm of the trade, turned into a tin can. Fastball swung on and fouled away by Soto. Counts 0-1. Soto hitting .239 on the year, 13 homers and 36 runs batted in. Our friend Zero says, even if the prospects are great, a Hall of Fame pitcher in his prime is robbery. Yeah, it's the third time that the Tigers have given away their ace in the last 20 years. When you think about it, Jeff Weaver was traded by the Tigers. At the time, he was considered their best pitcher. And then they got rid of Verlander in his prime, and now they've got another one in Skubal. So the strategy and the way that the ownership group is thinking is of a miserly, cost-cutting type approach. There's a split-finger pitch swung on and missed. Count quickly now 0-2 to Soto. Or is that's strike 3 to Soto. I missed a pitch there somewhere. He's in the books. Gone for out number 2. So a little bit behind on my stuff. I'm worried about the Skubal trade, and I'm losing track of Soto. It's going to bring up Yasunori Yasuda to the plate. Yasuda getting the nod at first base tonight. Hitting .250 on the year with 3 homers and 14 RBIs. Batting from the left side here against the right-handed throwing Arihara. As a fastball swung on it, is looped softly over to second. And or drifting back and making the catch is Kama Kawabata. He was busy in the first inning, and he closes out this inning. And that is going to do it for the third out right then and there. No runs in the inning, a 1 hit, no errors, and 1 runner left aboard. Your score as we move to the bottom of the second inning. It is the Marines nothing and the Fighters nothing. Stick around. Appreciate you guys for jumping in. Our friend Zero says he donated to you. Love your channel. Appreciate you. I didn't know if I see anything there, but If I do, I'll take a peek and I'll let you know when it's come through. Much appreciated as always. We'll be right back in just a few. Looks like it has come in, Josh. We appreciate you for that. I'll be back in just a couple of moments, so we'll carry on the conversation right after this musical timeout.
So high.
As this game is returning, it is Chusei Minami to lead it off, followed by Kotaro Kiyomiya and Yuki Nomura. First pitch breaking ball swung on and missed. Count is quickly 0-1 to Minami. Minami hitting .270 on the year, 19 homers and 48 runs batted in. Got one of my former players texted me and saying that the trade was absolutely awful. I can't say that I disagree. There's another breaking ball that drops in for a called strike, and the count is 0-2. I wonder what the other teams were offering. That would be the other part, like the Brewers or the Cubs or the other teams that would have been in the market for similar pitching. 0-2 pitch on the way. Fastball misses off the outside corner, and the count goes to 1-2 on Minami. Tinka asks the question, if I think this game will be high scoring. I think it'll be similar to last night. So I guess, depending on what you think, I think it's probably going to be an 8-run max, 5-3, 6-2 type final. There's a fastball swung on, grounded softly over to short. Fielded neatly by the shortstop, Yamazaki. He throws to first, and Minami's gone on a ground out, 6-3. He's gone for the first out of the inning. So one up and one away. It'll bring Kotaro Kiyomiya to the plate. So a lot to digest on that trade. And I think they said Zaire Hope was the number 5 prospect at the time here for the Dodgers. We'll have to check that one out. I'm not 100% sure, as we'll go back and take a look at the breakdown of that trade. And there is a fastball that is swung on and missed by Kiyomiya, and the count is quickly 0-1. Looking at the Skubal trade, it was Brady Smith who was the other one. Brady Smith was a third-round draft pick of the Dodgers back in the 2023 draft. He is currently, I think he's in high A right now in the Great Lakes. He also was in the Cal League. As that pitch is fouled away, the count is 0-2 to Kiyomiya. In the Cal League, he was 0-6. And his numbers right now in 74 and a third innings this year are rather fluffed up. There's a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count remains 0-2 to Kiyomiya. So I don't know what the Tigers might see in him. Sometimes I look at that's what they must see. 104 strikeouts and 65 innings pitched in the Cal League. That tells you he's got a wipeout pitch. Here's the 0-2. Split finger pitch misses down. It's now 1-2 to Kiyomiya. Our friend Gracie Lynn back in the house tonight. She says, enjoy MLB this year because we won't have it till 28-29. The earliest Tigers could go down in history as the team that sealed the lockout coffin. Well, maybe. But I'll tell you this, that as far as I'm concerned, I said it before and I speculated a couple of years ago when I said, at what point in time are there going to be 8 or 10 teams privately get together and say, look, we're going to leave Major League Baseball and create our own league? Split finger pitch misses down. The count goes to 2-2. And you think of the big market teams like the Cubs, the Yankees, the Mets, the Dodgers, the Angels, the Giants. teams with big payrolls, Texas Rangers in years past, maybe Houston would be in that mix. And you take 12 teams and you say, you know what, we're out of here. Toronto Blue Jays could be in that mix too. And create their own league, and then you leave the Oaklands and the Colorados and everybody else just sort of hanging. There's a changeup that misses outside. Count runs full to Kiyomiya. And you got to wonder if that is the particular case. When is that going to happen? I don't know. I don't know if it does or if it doesn't. I guess we'll have to wait and see if that might be something that could potentially take over. Kind of like the Live golf tournament that took place in Saudi Arabia, and everybody was leaving the PGA. Here comes the 3-2 pitch. As the right-hander kicks and delivers, there is a changeup that misses upstairs. It's going to be ball 4. And Kiyomiya is going to get himself a walk. That's going to put a runner at first with one gone. It'll bring Yuki Nomura to the plate. So Zaire Hope was the number 25 prospect in all of baseball. River Ryan is number 68, and Brady Smith, well, not sure what that's all about. So the right-handed hitting Yuki Nomura steps to the dish. And here comes the pitch. It's a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into left center field, charging hard, sliding and making the catch is the center fielder Fujiwara. And retreating back to first is Kiyomiya. He came out of nowhere. Nice play there by the speedy center fielder, retired Nomura, for the second out of the inning. That's going to leave it all up to the third baseman in Naoki Arizono. Yeah, Big Ray says that went down well to Live. And, of course, Gracie Lynn said the same thing. Yeah, but take the money and run, honey, I guess is the way I would put it to those guys. And certainly that's what they did at the expense of what? At the expense of the PGA. So at what point in time did those major league teams decide, hey, you know what, we're going to break away from the MLB? There's a fastball swung on. This ball is belted into left field. This ball could be trouble. And this ball is it gone or is it foul? No, hooked it, foul did Arizona. Having a hard time here, actually, to be honest, with the lighting. As we said, it's only the second time I've seen the dome opened. He absolutely obliterated that one, but he just hooked it foul down the left field line as it went into the corner. So 1 strike to Arizona. As they fire over to first base and diving back in time is Kiyomiya. Arizona getting the start on back-to-back nights. At third base, here comes the 0-1 pitch. On its way, there's a changeup taken for a called strike. The count now goes to 0-2 on Arizona. Gracie Lynn says, the players would get paid in your breakaway. Yeah, the problem is that who's going to go watch the Colorado Rockies play the Tampa Bay Rays in that scenario? As that fastball misses down and the count is 1-2. And if you've got the money and you can extract in that breakaway league and you take guys whoever you want, it's almost like when the players had a scab teams back in, 95, ready to come north. Well, instead of a scab league, you take all the stars out of the league and you say, we're going to go this way. Here's the pitch. Fastball misses down and away, and the count goes to 2-2. Because at what point in time are the New York Yankees or the Dodgers ownership saying we're tired of propping up teams like the Athletics or teams like the Marlins or, groups like the Pirates, those type of teams, teams that are basically low market. And you'd have to say the Tigers are falling into that category to some degree too. They're running their team they're not even a mid-market team, small market team with that type of deal. Fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count is 2-2. The next shoe to fall will be that of Casey Mize. I think he's gone too. And while you're keeping the furniture at the door, I would think Gleyber Torres is a goner and maybe Kenley Jansen if there's a taker for him. But I'm not sure what you could get in return for either of those two players. Mize certainly would give you a far greater premium, and Torres, I'm not sure. Torres, he's carrying a bit of a contract there. The Tigers, I would think, have to pick up something off of the Gleyber contract. Here comes the 2-2 pitch to Arizona. Right-hander delivers. It's a fastball swung on. This ball is lined into right field, and it's going to get down. It's going to get into the corner, and it's extra bases. Fielding it, rounding third and heading home. Here comes the throw to the plate. It's not going to be in time. And to score the first run of the ball game is Kiyomiya, as Arizona has delivered again tonight with an extra base hit. And so the Fighters have taken an early 1-0 lead here in the second inning on the double by Arizona. It was a straight-up four-seam fastball down and away. It was actually a good pitch. And Arizona was able to stay inside the ball, go the other way with it. Lined it down the right field line. It was well played in the corner by the right fielder, Nishikawa. As we watched the throw came in. It was just a little bit late. So a double there by the third baseman, Arizona. That brings Daigo Kamikawabata to the plate. The first pitch to Kamikawabata is a breaking ball missing outside for ball one. Count is 1-0. Our friend Gracie Lynn says, hates to put it this way, but the American sport fans are brainless enough to fall lockstep in and accept it. Thinking about soccer where people actually care about things more than the stars. Yeah, possibly so. And you think about how UEFA just voted down the FIFA proposal as there's a fastball ticket for a called strike. All the equity that the FIFA was looking for. So 1-1 strike it is to Kamikawabata. Yuya Shinto, the catcher, waiting his turn on deck. As the 1-1 is on the way, it is a changeup that drops in for a called strike. I got to say, Andre Jackson has a pretty electric changeup. Seen that on a regular basis, and it's got a little bit of downward movement, a little bit of sink. It's more of a pitchfork than it is a circle change. So 1-2 strikes as the right-hander holds himself at the belt. Now he delivers. Fastball check swing foul over on the third base side. The count remains a 1-2. I see Gracie Lynn said it wasn't just UEFA. It was 140 of the 211. All I saw was UEFA with the 55 members that said, yeah, no. And that's pretty much all you need to hear. I didn't get into the rest of the stuff because with UEFA having as big a clout as they do, the rest you could pretty much figure we're going to go with it. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Jackson does the old spaghetti move, and it chases Arizona back to second base. Big Ray says the legalities of the team owner's contract with MLB would dictate more favorably for the MLB if you had to guess. Yeah, that's probably a good guess. Fastball swung on and lifted foul into the seats down the third base line. The count remains a 1-2 to Kamikawabata. And you remember, if they're going to lock them out at that point in time, that's if there's going to be a time to do something, as I would suggest, that would be the time to do it, I would think. Make a run for it at that point in time. So here comes the 1-2 pitch as Jackson, who is about to deliver his 35th pitch of the ball game, kicks and delivers. There's a breaking ball swung on, and it's tapped foul over on the third base side. Count remains at 1-2. Wolverine asked the question, says, when was the last MLB lockout and how long did it last? Appreciate you for hanging in here, Wolverine. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. As it's on its way, it's a breaking ball that is lifted foul. Count remains 1-2. It wasn't all that long ago when it was the last labor stoppage in MLB baseball that started the season a little bit late. I believe that was pre-pandemic. And that would have been actually it was post-pandemic. It was 21-22. So the lockout started in December of 2021 and it ended in March of 2022. So they didn't have to cancel the games, but they had to condense some of it. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into deep right field, just not deep enough. Underneath it is Nishikawa. He's there to make the catch. And Kawabata is gone for the third out of the inning, and that will do it here for the Fighters. Well, the Fighters get on the board. They had 1 run in the inning on the benefit of 1 hit, no errors, and 1 runner left aboard. Your scores will now move to the top of the 3rd inning. It is the Fighters with a 1-0 lead over the Marines. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a few with all the action. Appreciate you guys for jumping in with us on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. We'll be back in just a few.
I am waiting for a bus at the end of the night, under street lamp, red face flame by the light. I'm going away.
Your score is 1-0 as we move ourselves to the top of the 3rd inning. Stick around, everybody. Marines are not on top. It's the Fighters. We'll adjust it and come back in just a few. Welcome back to everybody. It is going to be Ogawa, Yamazaki, and Fujiwara to come to bat here. Our friend Gracie Lynn is predicting doom and gloom, and she might be right. She says, I have a feeling, and I don't think it's unreasonable to guess that this upcoming MLB lockout will be worse than the 04-05 NHL lockout. I think so. I think they're really going to try to push the salary cap. There's a first pitch fastball taken for a called strike. Counts 0-1 to Ogawa. Ogawa, Yamazaki, and Fujiwara to come to bat here in inning number 3. As the right-hander Arihara delivers a fastball, it's swung on, grounded over to the right side, bobbled, and then picked up by Kawabata. He throws to first, and that's going to retire Ogawa on a groundout 4-3. So 1 up and 1 away. That'll bring up the shortstop in Tsuyoshi Yamazaki. So far of the 7 outs in this game, Kawabata has been involved in 4 of them. 3 assists and 1 putout. And that'll bring Yamazaki to the plate. So a busy man at second base after not playing in last night's ball game. As the right-hander delivers, and it is a breaking ball that misses upstairs. Only 14 pitches in the first 2 innings for Arihara. 1 ball and no strikes to the left-handed hitting Yamazaki, batting .245 on the year. Fastball catches the inside corner, and the count goes even to 1-1. Wolverine makes a lot of statements and a lot of sense in his comment. Yeah, about the government. Always when government, it doesn't really matter where it is. United States, Canada, Mexico, whenever the government wants to get involved, buckle up, buddy, because it's going to be a wild one. And you never know which twist it's going to turn, especially when they control the pen and can write the laws the way they want to. There's a changeup taken for a called 3rd strike. Oh, Yamazaki got locked up. He's in the books for out number 2. That's the 2nd strikeout recorded by Arihara. And then it'll bring Fujiwara to the plate. Our friend the Chief says Gracie might be onto something. Yeah, I think she is too. I think that it's all about the economy. I mean, we could get off in a whole other topic on this channel. I prefer to baseball, but unfortunately, the economy is going to get into the baseball world next year. Change up, take it for a called strike. Count is quickly 0-1 to Fujiwara. Fujiwara 0 for 1 tonight, flew out to left field on the first pitch of the ball game. Batting from the left side here against the right-hander Arihara, who kicks and delivers a breaking ball that misses way outside. The count goes to 1-1. Gracie Lynn says she's okay with the no MLB for 5 years if it takes to rein in the Dodgers. It really has nothing to do with the Dodgers. There's a fastball swung on and missed, and the count now goes to 1-2 on Fujiwara. It's what has been allowed by Major League Baseball, and that is the leadership of Rob Manfred. And the Dodgers are going to get away with what they can get away with. There's a split finger pitch swung on and fouled away, and the count is 1-2. The unfortunate part is it's pretty blatant because, you can see that the Dodgers have the money. They have the ability to be able to do it. They have a marketplace, and they're able to manipulate the contracts and do whatever they have to do to make things work for the Dodgers. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Split finger pitch misses down, and the count goes to 2-2. Ethan says he needs the Ham Fighters to win today because they have a good pitcher on the mound. Yeah, Arihara has not had a great season, but I would lean toward the Fighters in this one here tonight. Obviously, the early 1-0 lead. If you can give them 6 strong innings and pass it off to the bullpen, there's a good chance that they can bring it home. There's a fastball swung on and fouled away. Count 2-2 to Fujiwara. It remains. Wolverine says if there is a lockout, it'd be awesome if the networks could show the Japanese or Korean leagues. Yeah, I would think that you want to fill baseball somehow. And the sad part is baseball as a whole has really had quite the role over the last few years. Fastball swung on and missed. Fujiwara down on strikes. He's gone for out number 3. And that'll do it as the Marines go in order here in the third. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left aboard. Yet another quick inning here. We are moving to the bottom of the third inning. It's the Fighters with a 1-0 lead. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back, and we'll be talking about the Skubal trade, I'm sure, throughout the night. Glad you could be here with us. We'll be right back in just a few.
Well, if you need a hand to carry a load, I'm here to let you know you can put that on me. When that old hurricane is starting to blow, I've always got a home where you can come be. Oh, because I've been afraid of a little weather. We can make it together. When I tell you that I got you, and I'm here running, sleep,
Welcome back, everybody. We are moving to the bottom half of the third inning. It'll be the 9, 1, and 2 hitters to come to bat as the dome is open in Hokkaido today for this one. It is nice and sunny, if that's what the type of weather that you like is in Japan. I'm not sure what the temperature is. I didn't get that at game time, but it does provide an interesting look the way that the sunlight is. It's now moving more into the outfield as it has no longer taking into account the infield of play. Shinto coming to bat, batting .203 on the year, 3 homers and 9 runs driven in as the right-hander Jackson kicks and delivers. A fastball taken for a called strike. The count is quickly 0-1 to Shinto. Shinto, Mizuno, and Hosokawa come to bat here for the Fighters in the third inning. Wolverine asked the question, and our friend the Hobbyist back in the house here tonight, as there is a pitch swung on and fouled away. The count is 0-2. Hobbyist says, good morning. It's still in the evening, though. It's only 9:40. Oh, 9:40 on the West Coast, but 12:40 on our time. Our friend Wolverine asks, how do the Fighters and Marines compare to each other? The Fighters are a much better team. Marines are in second last place. Breaking ball misses up and in. And they're trending in two different directions. I don't think the Fighters are at their peak yet. They are trending upward, as they are still they're going to be in contention to win the Pacific League this year in terms of the playoffs. There's a fastball swung on and missed. Gone is Shinto for the first out. The big hurdle is getting past the Hawks. Chiba, on the other hand, they are a team looking for their own identity. They are retooling and rebooting. I think that they are on a few different levels. Their import players are going to need to make some more impact moving forward, as Soto and Polanco are getting toward the end of their parts. We've seen back-to-back import pitchers. Sam Long got the start last night. Wasn't overly impressive. Andre Jackson, I do like him. There's a breaking ball taken for a called strike. Counts 0-1 to Mizuno. Mizuno's popped to third base to begin the ball game. He's 0 for 1 tonight in this one. So by preference, I think the Fighters are more polished, better ball club. As I said, I don't know really where the Marines are at. I think the Marines are maybe a year or two away from making a playoff push again. Right-hander delivers. It's a split-finger pitch missing down, and the count now goes to a ball and a strike to Mizuno. We were commenting last night about the play of Mizuno, playing very good defensively, also having a pretty good season with the stick, getting just shy of 300 entering tonight's game with 8 homers, also has 10 stolen bases. There's a split-finger pitch missing down, and the count 2-1 to Mizuno. Wolverine asked the question, who are your Pacific League playoff teams and contenders? At the beginning of the year, we put up on our community page, there's a changeup swung on and missed. The count goes to 2-2. I felt that this year that we were about to have a changing of the guard. At least I had the Fighters to win the Pacific, the Hawks to finish second, and I think I had the Buffaloes to go third. Certainly the Lions have been playing good ball for most of the season, maybe punching above their weight. Here's the 2-2. Fastball swung on, grounded up the middle, and it's going to get past the glove of the shortstop, Yamazaki, into center field. And Mizuno aboard with a one-out single. And that is going to bring up the center fielder in Ryohei Hosokawa. So, but in saying that, with my prediction of the Fighters to win the division, which right now is not the case, they are not in a playoff, or they're in a playoff spot, but they're not in the top spot. I did feel that the Hawks would still win the Pacific League this year. On the other side of the ledger, it was the Tigers and the Giants. I felt were going to be 1-2 in the Central. And I went out on a limb. I thought it was going to be the year of the Chinichi Dragons. I thought the Dragons were going to come to blossom with that pitching staff they have and the offense starting to come around, but they've not been able to put it together. There's a breaking ball swung on. It is lifted into left field. Coming in is Yamaguchi, and he's going to make the catch on the run. So Hosokawa is retired for the second out of the inning. That's going to leave it all up to Franmil Reyes. So for Reyes, he comes to the plate. He's 0 for 1 tonight. He grounded to second his first time up. Reyes is giving the Fighters everything they could want and more. Our friend Ethan, who is obviously pumped for the Fighters. Yeah, definitely the Fighters getting everything they can out of this import player Reyes. And I have a feeling he's just going to play the rest of his career. If I was having conversations with him, I'd say stay right where you're at. Career against Andre Jackson, he's 5 for 10 with a homer and a couple RBIs. So here comes the first offering as it's on its way. It's a breaking ball. Catches the outside corner for a called strike. And the count is 0-1 to Reyes. Ethan says, how are the closers for the Fighters? I guess the way I would probably describe it would be erratic. I just don't know if they've got the right chemistry with the back end right now. I'm not sure how that's going to play out. Pitch on the way, and there's a breaking ball swung on. This ball is belted into deep left field. This ball could be trouble. And this ball is into the bullpen, and it's a 2-run homer for Reyes. His 23rd of the season, this time a 2-run variety, as Mizuno is going to score in front of him as Reyes rounds the bases and the Fighters to a 3-0 lead here in inning number 3. 2-run shot off the bat of the Franimal. And that is going to bring Chusei Manami to the plate. High fives all the way around. As I was saying, I think if I'm Reyes and if I'm getting advice from the agent, don't worry about Major League Baseball anymore. Make the rest of your career in Japan. Be a star. Get yourself paid. Live a good life. Get yourself set yourself and your family up. Because obviously going back to Major League Baseball next year, not going to be an option because, well, the reality is as Tracy Lynn points out, we're going to have a lockout. So the first pitch delivered to Chusei Manami. Fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count is 0-1. Wolverine tapping out. Well, we're glad you could tap in for a little bit tonight. And we thank you for stopping by. There's a fastball missing up to Manami, and the count's 1-1. Ethan says he's got a couple of hundred on this game here. The closers need to finish the game, so thank you for the commentary, and thank you for showing up. We appreciate you for dropping in. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Split finger pitch misses down, and the count now goes to 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike. Manami grounded to short his first time up as he waits on the offering here from Andre Jackson. Pitch on the way, breaking ball swung on, and it is lifted into shallow right field. Coming in hard on it is Nishikawa, and he's there to make the catch. Manami's gone for the 3rd out of the inning, but damage done in the inning as Franmil Reyes, with his 23rd homer of the year, has extended the Fighters' lead to 3-0. 2 runs in the inning on 2 hits, no errors, and there was nobody left aboard. We're now a third of the way through this ball game. It is the Fighters with a 3-0 lead over the Marines. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back with all the action in just a bit on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. Stick around, everybody. We'll be here for a little bit.
I did it all, I played pretend, I moved the mountains to be your friend. I wanna know if it mattered. I would have gone to war for you, I would have bent the earth in two just to get to our ever after. Something about this has changed, I wanna.
Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the 2, 3, and 4 hitters to come to bat here, as it'll be Nishikawa, Uedo, and Yamaguchi. Our friend Gracie Lynn says, is that a real song? Yeah, it's a real song. It's one of the ones that we pull off of YouTube as we get some of that there. The YouTube gives you free content, and you can pull it down and post it up, and they don't bill you for it or have to take money for you from the stream. So that is what we use. And to be honest, I'm not sure who that artist is. I'd have to go back and take a look. But it is in the YouTube database. I've heard the hobbyist says he bought a Trammell rookie today. That's always a good buy. Trammell, Molitor, and UL Washington, I think, if I'm not mistaken there, Chris. Hall of Famer, and you got 2 Hall of Famers on the one card. I think I've got 4 at my disposal somewhere. Well, coming about is Nishikawa. He's 0 for 1. He's grounded out to second in his only trip to the plate. I don't know if Trammell's my favorite Tiger of all time. I like Alan Trammell a lot, for sure. He is a quality individual. There's a fastball swung on it, has popped up over on the right side of the infield. Underneath it, in room to make the catch, is Kiyomiya. 1 pitch, 1 away here in the 4th inning, and that's going to bring up Kyoto Ueda. Talking about the Tigers, as we were earlier with that trade of Skubal. I'm looking at they win tonight against the Athletics. They held on. Framber Valdez getting the victory. I'm just curious to see what other trades are going to come down. There's a breaking ball taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1 to Uedo. Our friend All Rails in the house. We appreciate you for popping in there. There's a fastball swung on. It is looped softly over to second as the bat had been broken. Making the catch is the second baseman, Kawabata. It's a pretty big souvenir for somebody. Uedo is going to be gone for the second out. A 4-seam fastball that came down and in, and the bat went almost as far as the ball that was struck. So 2 out here, and that is going to bring up the left fielder in Koki Yamaguchi. Our friend the hobbyist said, who is my favorite Tiger? When I was a youngster, I preferred Steve Kemp. That was when I first, and Rusty Staub. Those were the first 2 players that I used to like for Detroit, as that breaking ball misses to Yamaguchi. And then as I got older, of course, Trammell came on the scene. I did like Lance Parrish. There is a changeup taken for a called strike. The count goes to 1-1 on Yamaguchi. And so probably over the last 20 years, there's not been anybody that I've really jumped on and said, oh, I really like this player. There's a fastball swung on. It is lifted into left field. Racing in, sliding and making the catch is Nomura, and Yamaguchi is gone for the 3rd out of the inning. And that will do it here as the Marines go quietly in their half of the 4th. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left aboard. We are now moving to the bottom of the 4th inning. Fighters coming to bat. Your score is 3-0 for Hokkaido, as they are playing in some of that there half sunshine and half shade. But we'll be back to give you more action in just a few. Hang tight, everybody. More songs for our friend Gracie as we continue here on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel.
Mirror, mirror on the wall, tell me who gon' rise and fall. I've been running from my flaws, still I'm standing 10 feet tall. Mirror, mirror, don't you lie, I can see it in my eyes. Truth gon' surface every time, even when no other dancing with my shadow in a room full of gold, trying to count on my regrets like the stories I told. Mama said, boy, don't sell your soul for applause, but the silence louder now than a million gods. I seen kings fall quick for a hit on a rail, seen queens trade crowns for a 6-figure deal. I don't blame them.
Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be Katara Kiyomiya, Yuki Nomura, and Naoki Arizono to come to the plate here, as it will be the Fighters with their 3-0 lead to face Andre Jackson. 53 pitches for the American right-hander through the first 3 innings. As there's a fastball swung on and missed by Kiyomiya, and the count is quickly 0-1. Gracie says she felt like she spent her whole life trying to leave the city, and now she's back in it. As the pitch is on the way, it's a split finger pitch, swung on and missed. The count now goes to 0-2. I got a whole host of little treats and nuggets in terms of updated music that we'll be running through as the 0-2 pitch is ready to come from Jackson, and there is a split finger pitch and misses down. The count is 1-2. I've had some fun with the channel, obviously, but over the years, I've got to do a little bit of an upgrade of some things. I'd like to put out a couple of videos for it and to keep people interested in what is going on in the channel verse of Last Raps Baseball. Here's the 1-2 pitch. There's a split finger pitch and misses down, and the count goes to 2-2. Off to Taiwan in 3 weeks' time for another tour. One thing I want to do tomorrow is I want to spend some time with my gimbal. I haven't spent enough time with the gimbal. I think we're going to do a little bit of that work as well. There's a fastball swung on and fouled off into the feet of Kiyomiya, and the count is 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Ethan says, let's get to this pitcher. Yeah, well, the right-hander Jackson does do a pretty good job of keeping hitters off balance. And now he has stepped off the rubber as Kiyomiya feels that he's taken a little bit too much time. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. The Fighters' first baseman digs himself back in, and we're ready to go again. Jackson working to the set. Here comes the 2-2. Pitch on the way. Fastball swung on, chopped softly up the middle. Fielded on the run by the shortstop. A nice play there by Yamazaki, throwing on the run to retire Kiyomiya. It's a ground out, 6-3. Oh, that was a gold glove type play. Had to come a long way to get it, but able to make the play. Not a bad play there by the shortstop at all. And Kiyomiya runs not bad for first baseman. Able to get the line down the line pretty good. Brings Yuki Nomura to the plate, who is 0 for 1 tonight. He has flown to center in his only trip, and he swings at a first pitch and hammers it foul down the third base line. Gets itself into the seats. No balls and 1 strike. Our friend the hobbyist says he's tapping out. Well, we're glad you tapped in here, Chris. Appreciate you for stopping in. As there's a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count is 0-2. Friend Gracie Lynn said, aren't you going to China this summer? No, it's going to be in December. So December, January, and probably from about the 14th of December till the 3rd of January. And do a little loop, going to go Shanghai, Hong Kong, Macau. There's a breaking ball swung on. It is lifted into shallow right field, racing back and making an over-the-shoulder catch is the second baseman Ogawa, and that is going to retire Nomura. Nice play by him as he got on his horse and was able to get into shallow right field to make the grab, and that's going to leave it all up to Naoki Arizono. Ethan says he's not going to tap out tonight. Our friend Playbox Zoo says he's got a couple of grand to keep this game under 8.5. I think you're probably. I think under 8.5 is going to happen. I was asked by Tink at the beginning of the stream what I think the score will be, and I said I think it'll be similar to last night. 5-3, 6-2, something like that. Breaking ball taken for a called strike. Count is quickly 0-1 to Arizona. Right-hander against the right-hander. Jackson kicks again. There's a breaking ball taken again for a called strike, and the count goes to 0-2. Hobbyist says, enjoys our commentary, just not awake this late anymore. Yeah, I understand. Except the other difference is I'm in your time zone. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. And there's a breaking ball that misses outside. Jackson just missed that one. He wanted that pitch. A really slow leg lift here. He's doing his best Nestor Cortez impersonation. He should come back with a slide step right now. Here comes the 1-2. pitch on the way. Breaking ball swung on. This ball is going to be lifted into center field. It's going to get down for a base hit. So Arizona wins the battle as he's got himself a 2-out single. That's going to bring up the second baseman in Daigo Kawabata. Playbox says we need a counter for pitches and bases. Yeah, to be honest with you, I thought about that before, and I was like, nah, you know what? We're here for the commentary and the play-by-play, and so people just got to listen in with the ears. You can go to the Japanese channels, and people put up the counter and the bases and all that stuff. Then you don't have to listen to it. You just have to watch the channel, and you can watch the little yellow men move around the bases. There's a breaking ball taken for a called strike. But the entertainment that we have here goes beyond that of the bases and the pitch count, especially with our cast of characters that filter in through the night. Here comes the 0-1 pitch as Jackson delivers. Fastball just misses off the outside corner, and the count runs even to 1-1. Yeah, the degenerate gamblers, they make their way in, that is for sure. Haven't seen Demon Slayer in here tonight or the last couple of nights. He was in last weekend, and he was working on his Chat GPT model for the gambling. Fastball swung on and grounded foul over on the first base side. Count is 1-2 now to Kawabata. Only 33 pitches in 4 innings for Arihara, 69 pitches for Andre Jackson. That ought to tell you where this game was heading off to. As the 1-2 pitch ready to go again, and now backing out is Kawabata as he is asked for time. As the right-hander ready to go, here comes the pitch. That's a fastball missing inside. There goes the runner down to second. The throw in time, and it is going to get Arizona. He's going to be caught stealing. It's going to go 2-6 on the putout, and that is going to do it as he's going to be gone for the third out of the inning. Well, an unconventional 1-2-3 inning. No runs in the inning, 1 hit, no errors, and nobody left the board. We're now through 4 complete. Your score is the Fighters with a 3-0 lead over the Marines. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a few with all the action. Appreciate you guys for listening in on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. I'll be right back after this timeout. Welcome back, everybody. That's a little Motown feel for our friend Gracie Lynn. Hope you liked that one as we pulled that one off of the YouTube selection as well. So, again, if you're asking who the artist is, I can't remember. There are some people that are out there that they have some stock music that they put out. There's a first pitch change up that misses to Sato, and the count is quickly 1-0. It is Sato, Soto, and Yasuda to come to bat here in inning number 5 against Arihara. 33 pitches, as we said, through the first 4 innings, hardly breaking a sweat. There's a changeup that is waved at and missed. Count runs even to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. We had a pretty healthy crowd last night in the stream, and tonight, well, it's not quite as live as it was last night as that fastball swung on and fouled away. The count goes to 1-2. Ball and 2 strikes. It all starts on the mound for teams, and good pitching beats good defense all the time. And for the Tigers, we were talking about them trading their ace 3 times in the last 20-some-odd years they've done it, as there's a fastball taken for a called strike, and Sato down on strikes for out number 1 here to begin the 5th. And by our count, that is strikeout number 4 recorded by Arihara tonight. It's going to bring up the designated hitter in Neftali Soto. Well, for Soto, he is 0 for 1 tonight. He was a strikeout victim his first time up as he comes to bat. And the right-hander delivers. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is going to be lifted into shallow center field. It's going to get down for a base hit. So Soto aboard with a 1-out single, and that'll bring up the first baseman in Hisanori Yasuda. Kind of curious. I've heard a little bit. The name of Zaire Hope had been around for a little bit, as I mentioned, in River Ryan as well. So I'm just kind of curious about where he would fit in. Obviously, the Tigers, with that deal. So when you think about it, they've got Yamamoto, they've got Robleski, you got Snell, you got Glasnow, Emmett Sheehan, Roki Sasaki, of course, Shohei Ohtani, and now you got Skubal. As the pitch is on the way, there was a changeup missing away outside. The count is 1-0. Whatever happened to Tony Gonsolin? Was pitching for them in the World Series a few years ago. He got hurt, and we haven't seen anything at all from him again. So 1 ball and no strikes. Pitch to Yasuda as a changeup taken for a called strike. The count now goes to 1-1. Zaire Hope, as we were talking about him, he was a 11th round pick by the Chicago Cubs. And he was in a high schooler out of Virginia. There is a fastball that misses inside. Count now goes to 2-1. And he is currently playing in Double-A, where he was hitting .293 with 23 homers and 87 runs batted in and 18 stolen bases for the Tulsa. I believe they're the Drillers, 21 years old. Here's the pitch. Fastball swung on, grounded over to first. They go to second for nothing, and it looks like it's going to be a foul ball. The first base umpire didn't signal it because it is the home plate umpire's call. So it ends up being a ground ball that ends up as a foul ball, but they were looking to hunt for 2. We'll get a look at the home plate umpire on this one here. If they did call a foul ball, it was the right call, just a late call. Gracie Lynn says between the injured list and the Major League roster, they have more starting rotations than most other Major League teams do, and I would agree with that. There's a breaking ball that misses outside, and the count goes to 3-2. It was like my high school basketball team. They used to say who was the best team in the city. It was our team, and then the second best team was our bench. That was the running joke for years. Here comes the 3-2 pitch to Yasuda as Arihara works himself to the belt. On the way, fastball swung on and missed. Yasuda in the books for the second out of the inning. It's going to leave it up to the second baseman in Ryusi Ogawa. So if you just joined us, it is a 3-0 lead for the Fighters. The big blast, a 2-run homer off the bat of Franmil Reyes in the third inning. The other was a RBI double from Arizona in the second that have given them a 3-0 lead. Springs Ryusei Ogawa to the plate. He is officially 0 for 1 tonight, grounded to second his first time up, and he swings at the first pitch fastball and lifts that foul into the seats down the left field line. Count is quickly 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. Ogawa hitting 270 on the year, having a productive year. No homers and 12 RBIs. Not a lot of juice in the stick. Fastball swung on and fouled away in the count now 0-2. So no balls, 2 strikes it is. Arihara gets himself a new baseball, ready to go back to work. Right-hander again getting the sign. Here comes the 0-2 pitch to Ogawa. Pitch on the way. Fastball swung on and missed. And that is going to do it. He strikes out the side around giving up a single. And that is going to do it here for the Marines in their half of inning number 5. Well, Arihara has brought his A game tonight. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, nobody left the board. 1 runner left the board. Your score as we move now to the bottom of the 5th inning, still 3-0 for the Fighters. Yeah, we got to tell you that this one is cruising along. We are halfway through the books, and we'll be back for more action in just a few right after this musical timeout. Stay with us, everybody. Welcome back, everybody. We are moving ourselves to the bottom half of inning number 5. It'll be the 8, 9, and 1 hitters to come to bat for the Fighters. That means Daigo Kamikawabata, Yuya Shinto, and the top of the order in Tatsuki Mizuno, as that will be who is coming to bat here to face right-hander Andre Jackson in inning number 5. 70 pitches for the right-handers so far. And there is a breaking ball that misses down. The count is 1-0. Kamikawabata was up at the plate when Arizona was caught stealing. As that is the way that had taken up. So 1 ball and no strikes as the right-hander Jackson kicks and delivers. There's a fastball missing way upstairs. The count now goes to 2-0. This right here, you got to wonder if Jackson's night might be done after the 5th inning. If the Marines are going to go to their bullpen. There is no game tomorrow for either of these two teams. I believe it is the Buffaloes and Eagles tomorrow. Fastball taken for a called strike. The count is 2 balls and a strike. If I'm ambitious, I'll try to do the game tomorrow night, but I don't know if I can get up to do it. That would be an early jump on the East Coast. Pitch is a fastball taken for a called strike. Count now 2-2. That would mean probably getting up at least minimum of an hour before the game. So we'll have to see how that plays out. That would, of course, be a Monday North American time. There's a fastball swung on a grounded foul just past the bag at first base. First baseman Yasuda makes a nice play in foul territory, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. So Kamikawabata again waiting on the offering from the right-hander. As Jackson set to deliver, pitch on the way, fastball spikes up to the plate. Now the count goes full. Jackson hasn't actually been bad tonight. It's just that Arihara has been outstanding. In a normal night, I would think Jackson probably battles through 6 strong innings. Fastball taken on the inside corner for a called third strike. Oh, he had to make the pitch, and boy, did he ever. Kamikawabata down on strikes for the first out of the inning, and that's going to bring up the catcher in Yuya Shinto. Well, for Shinto, he is 0 for 1 tonight. He struck out his only time up. So 0 for 1 it is. Curious to see how the trades are going to stack up in Major League Baseball. As we said, as well as in other parts of the world, there is a breaking ball ticket for a called strike. Counts 0-1 to Shinto. They're tracking the trades of all of the teams. Earlier tonight, Lane Thomas was acquired by the Braves, and Bailey Falter from the Royals, as there's a pitch that's fouled away for a strike, and the count is 0-2 to Shinto. White Sox also picked up Luis Castillo earlier on from the Mariners. And if you want to talk about trades that were lopsided, I can't believe what the Mariners got in return for Luis Castillo. They might as well should have given away. I mean, Sir Anthony Dominguez is a pretty good bullpen arm. There's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count is 1-2 to Shinto. But Luis Castillo, you would think, still has more value than what the Mariners got in return for him. So 1 ball and 2 strikes as Jackson holds to the set. Now he delivers. There's a fastball swung on. It is popped up over on the left side of the infield. It's playable. Underneath it is the shortstop, Yamazaki. He's there to make the catch. That's going to retire Shinto for the second out of the inning. So 2 quick outs. That's going to leave it up to the top of the order in Tetsuki Mizuno. Well, for Mizuno, he is officially 1 for 2 tonight. He's got a single and 2 trips. He has also scored one of the 3 fighter runs. As Mizuno waggling the bat, waiting on the offering here from the right-hander Jackson, who checks and delivers. It's a fastball taken on the inside corner for a called strike. Count is 0-1 to Mizuno. Again, the right-hander Jackson working to the set. Pitch is on the way. Fastball swung on, and it is lifted foul into the seats, and the count now goes to 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes. Jackson just seems to be missing that put-away pitch tonight. He's got 3 strikeouts. He just can't seem to stick it to the fighters when he needs to. Here comes the 0-2 offering. There's a changeup swung on, and it is tap foul over on the first base side of home plate. The count's 1-2 to Mizuno. Just a reminder, at the end of this half inning, we've got ourselves a 5-minute break, as we like to call it, our Japanese halftime. That's when they have their drink break, their smoke break, and probably their other breaks. There's a split finger pitch that misses down, and the count's 2-2 to Mizuno. It gives us a chance to stretch our legs and refresh our beverage so we can bring you guys the back half of this ball game. So 2 balls and 2 strikes to Mizuno. 2 gone here in the inning. 2s are wild right now. Jackson holds to the set. Here comes the pitch. Kicks and fires. It's a changeup swung on and missed. Mizuno's in the books. He's gone for the 3rd out of the inning, and that is going to do it here for the Fighters in their half of the 5th. They go in order. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left the board. Your score as we move to the top of the 6th inning. It's a 3-0 Fighter lead. Stay with us, everybody. We'll be back in just a little bit. As we said, we're going to put the music on loop, and we'll let you guys enjoy it. And our friend Ethan says he definitely needs a smoke. We'll be right back after this. Your scores move to the top of the 6th inning. It is a 3-0 Fighters lead. We'll be back to just a few right after this. Welcome back, everybody. I just got the flash. ESPN has graded the trade of the Skubal trade, and they have given the Dodgers an A, and they have given the Tigers a F. I think it was an F. Or was it a D? No, Tigers got a D. And you know what? I got to be honest with you. That's probably a fair grade. They talked about a little bit as I was skimming through during the timeout here. River Ryan has stud potential, but he's 27 years old, and he blew his elbow after the 24 debut for the Dodgers. And this season, he's not exactly been pitching very well in AAA Oklahoma City. Smith, who's 21, is a third-round prep high school righty, and he hasn't won a game in 30 professional starts. He's got an ERA pushing up towards 5. So the Tigers must see something in him, but I guess we're going to have to wait and see. Time will tell, but I have a feeling this is not going to be a win for the Detroit Ball Club. As much as it is, get rid of the salary and hope you get something there. And on top of it, Zaire Hope, he is the 4th best outfield prospect in the Dodgers organization. Nothing against him, but they were saying you couldn't have done something a little bit better than their 4th best outfield prospect. Again, time is going to tell on this one here. Well, Kohei Arihara, at 47 pitches through 5 innings, takes back to the hill. He is going to be facing the 9, 1, and 2 hitters in the order. It's going to be Tsuyoshi Yamazaki, Kyoto Fujiwara, and Misho Nishikawa. And the first pitch is a breaking ball that misses out, sign for ball. Count quickly 1-0. So 1 ball and no strike. Ethan says, is the break over? It is. As the 1-0 pitch is on the way, there's a fastball swung on and is tap foul over on the first base side. Count goes to 1-1 on Yamazaki. Have to say, of all these Chiba uniforms, this one probably is the one I like the best. The black tops with the white Chiba across the chest. It's a pretty good-looking uniform that they are sporting. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. Change up, take it for a called strike. Oh, that was nasty. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Yamazaki. A lot of backdoor movement and downward tilt from Arihara. Here comes the 1-2. Another change up, swung on and missed, and that is going to retire Yamazaki. He's in the books for the first out of the inning. So after striking out the side in inning number 5, Arihara carries on here at inning number 6 with a strikeout. That's the last 4 outs have all come via the strikeout. Bring up the top of the order in Kyoto Fujiwara. And by my count here tonight, that would be strikeout number 7 for Arihara. So if you had that in the prop bets, I sure didn't. There's a changeup swung on and missed, and the count is 0-1 to Fujiwara. Fujiwara 0 for 2 tonight. He has flown to left and struck out in his 2 trips. Pitch on the way. Another changeup swung on and missed. The count now goes to 0-2. I think it's about time that Arihara is going to consider walking the ladder here to put away Fujiwara. No balls and 2 strikes. Here comes the pitch. It's a split finger pitch swung on and chopped foul over on the first base side. The count remains at 0-2. This is vintage Arihara pitching right now. This is the best I've seen him pitch this year, and he has been very, very good tonight. All around the zone, filling it up with strikes. Here comes the 0-2 offering as the right-hander works to the belt. And the pitch on the way. Changeup just misses outside. Count goes to 1-2. The changeup is so good tonight. It kind of reminds me, I always talk about Logan Webb, how it looks like when he's on some nights, it looks like he's playing wiffle ball. That's what Arihara looks like right now with that changeup. It's fluttering all over the place. Here comes the 1-2. There's a fastball that misses down, and the count goes to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. If you just joined us, the 2-run homer by Reyes extended a 1-0 lead. As the left-handed hitting Fujiwara waits. Here's the pitch. Fastball swung on and fouled away down the third baseline, and the count remains at 2-2. Did a pretty good job to fight that off, Fujiwara. That ball had a lot of cut. It was coming in on the hands. He was able to just flick the wrists and spoil the pitch. Here's the 2-2 pitch. On its way, fastball swung on, chopped softly back to the mound. Arihara fields it on the backhand. He throws to first. That's going to retire Fujiwara on a ground out. 1-3 on the putout. He's gone for the second out of the inning, and that's going to leave it up to the right fielder and Misho Nishikawa. Nice play by Arihara, very athletic to get off the mound to make the play. So this brings Nishikawa to the plate, who's 0 for 2 tonight. He is grounded to second, and he has popped to first. As he steps in, ready to face the offerings from the right-hander. Arihara kicks and delivers. The first pitch is a breaking ball that misses upstairs. Count is 1-0. The Chiba fans that are in attendance are making a lot of noise here in this one tonight. Here's the 1-0 pitch. There's a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is 1-1 to Nishikawa. Ethan says he can play defense. Yeah, flashing the leather for sure. Here's the 1-1. That's a breaking ball that is swung on and missed, and the count now goes to 1-2 on Nishikawa. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Well, Nishikawa digging himself back in. 61 pitches here in the 6th inning. That's been the masterpiece and the masterclass delivered by Arihara tonight. Been very pitch efficient and very, very good. Here comes the 1-2. As he kicks and delivers, it is a fastball that misses up, and the count goes to 2-2. Looked like a 2-seam fastball, had a little bit of backdoor run to it, but not enough to convince the home plate umpire that he should get a strike call. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Again, the right-hander getting the sign from his catcher, Shinto. He kicks and delivers. Changeup swung on, popped up behind home plate. Looks like it could be playable all the way to the fence is Shinto, but it is just going to hit the screen at the last moment, unable to get it. And it's going to keep Nishikawa alive with the count at 2-2. Shinto had good chase, and it just hit probably about maybe 2 feet above where his glove was into the netting. It's a little unfortunate there for the Fighters catcher. So 2-2 it remains to Nishikawa as Arihara gets himself a new baseball ready to go back to work. Righty again leaning in, getting the sign, and he works himself back to the belt. Here comes the 2-2. Pitch on the way. Fastball swung on, chopped up the middle, fielded on the backhand by Kamikawabata. He throws on the outfield side of first base. Kiyomiya makes the stretch, and that is going to retire Nishikawa for the third out of the inning. What a play there by Kiyomiya, as that is going to set Nishikawa down for the third out. No runs in the inning, no hits, no errors, nobody left the board as the Marines go in order. Their scores, we move to the bottom of the sixth. It is still 3-0 for the Fighters. Stay with us, everybody. Back in just a few, and we'll keep everybody entertained with all of our musical timeouts when we return right after this in just a few.
I am waiting for a bus at the end of the night under street lamp. Face flamed by the light. I'm going away.
Your score is 3-0 as we go to the bottom half of inning number 6. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a few right after this. Welcome back, everybody. It's going to be Hosokawa, Reyes, and Manami to come to bat here in the 6th inning, as they will be facing Andre Jackson, who's coming back out for inning number 6. 86 pitches for the American right-hander through his first 5 innings. Our friend Ethan says, how good was that out? It was the stretch by Kiyomiya that really made the play, as there was a changeup that misses up and away, and the count is 1-0 to Hosokawa. He had to stretch to the outfield side of first base, had to keep his foot to the bag, and really was able to make a great defensive play to help out the throw of the second baseman. There's a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is even at 1-1 to Hosokawa. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Jackson ready to deliver again. The 1-1 on the way. There's a fastball swung on and lifted foul down the left field line into the seats. Count now 1-2 to the center fielder of the Fighters. Like a swing of self-defense. So here comes the 1-2 as the right-hander again ready to deliver. Pitch on the way. Slow breaking ball misses way upstairs. The count goes to 2-2. Jackson has settled down, so to speak, as he has retired unconventionally the last 7 in a row after the home run by Reyes. Here comes the 2-2. Pitch on the way. It is a changeup swung on and lifted foul into the seats down the third base line. The count remains at 2s. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. And again, Hosokawa digs himself back in, ready to get the offering here from the starter Jackson. Here comes the 2-2. Kicks and fires. It is a fastball swung on, grounded right back to the pitcher. Jackson fields it easily. Underhand flips it to first. That's going to go as a ground out 1-3 for out number 1 here in inning number 6. That's going to bring up the second baseman in Franmil Reyes. Well, for Reyes, he had the big blow his last time up, hit a 2-run homer that brought him and Mizuno home. He's also grounded to second. So 1 for 2 tonight. That home run was his 23rd of the season. There's a breaking ball swung on. This ball is hammered, and it's hooked foul down the left field line into the corner, and the count is quickly 0-1. We mentioned the last time up, Reyes has had good success against Andre Jackson. In his career, he's now 6 for 11 facing him in the NPB. So you got to like those odds if you are a fan of the Fighters. There is a changeup that misses down, and the count runs even to 1-1. And that's how it is sometimes. Sometimes you get hitters, they really see pitchers really, really well. And that might be the case here. He just happens to see where the ball is coming out of his slot. Explodes to him. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. Fastball swung on and tap foul right behind home plate, and the count goes to 1-2. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Play box says, let's not get some walks. Yeah. If you're wanting the under, you want to keep the base runners off the bases. Here's the 1-2 pitch. And it's a split finger pitch missing down, and the count now goes to 2-2 on Reyes. As I said before, the start, if Jackson can get through this inning here, 6 innings, gives up 3 runs, that's a quality start. Give your team a chance. The only problem is that your counterpart has been that much better, not really allowing much of anything. Arihara has been fantastic tonight. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. Right-hander Jackson delivers. Fastball swung on and tap foul behind home plate. That was at 96. So 2-2 it remains. We were talking about the potential of a game tomorrow night. There is 1 game slated for tomorrow. It's supposed to be the Eagles and the Buffaloes from the Tokyo Dome. Now, we are contemplating doing that one, but that's hinging on if we can get up to make the call. Fastball swung on and fouled away. The count is 2-2. And then after that, probably not until the weekend. We look ahead, it'll be a Saturday. And it'd probably be the Fighters and the Eagles again from Escon Field. And that game would go off more than likely at, looks like a 9 o'clock at night start. Actually, it looks like an 11 o'clock start, is it? Yeah, 11 p.m. Pacific, 2 a.m. Eastern, so a little bit later than what we're used to. And then on the Sunday, we would walk it back and do the same 2 teams that would go off at a 10 o'clock start. We'll have to see how that shapes up. Here's the 2-2 again to Reyes, and it's a breaking ball that misses in the left-handed batter's box. The count now goes to 3-2. That is pitch number 100 delivered by Jackson. And then when you look ahead to the following week, there are going to be some day games in the NPB, the 11th, Tuesday the 11th. It'll be Monday night North American time. We'll be able to get some action in there. Looking forward to that. Here comes the 3-2 pitch as the right-hander holds to the set. Now he kicks slowly and delivers. It is a fastball swung on and missed, and Reyes is in the books. He's gone for the second out of the inning. So another strikeout recorded by Jackson tonight, and that by our counts is only his 4th. That's going to leave it all up to Chusei Minami. So I'm kind of looking forward to some of those early action games, especially in the weeknights. And then, of course, we're going to be away for a little bit. Not able to make any calls at the end of the month. Not Olmec back in the house. We appreciate you for being in here. Fastball misses outside to Chusei Minami, and the count is quickly 1-0. 1 ball and no strikes. And the pitch on the way again is a changeup that misses down, and the count now 2-0 to Minami. Minami, another dangerous figure at the plate. We were saying last night, they have 4 hitters in a row here that have double-digit or more home runs. Reyes, Minami, Kiyomiya, and Nomura. Each one could put a charge into the baseball. Wind has picked up at Escon Field. You can see the players' jerseys blowing around a little bit. As we said, they had opened up the dome for this one today, as the sunlight has continued to retreat itself into the outfield. Here comes the 2-0 pitch. On its way, fastball swung on, lifted into right field. Did he get enough of it? I don't know if he did. Back at the edge of the warning track, and there to make the catch is Nishikawa. And that is going to do it, as Manami's going to be gone for the third out of the inning. So 2/3 of the game in the books. It's a 3-0 ball game. One would expect that's going to be the end of Andre Jackson as he retires the side here in order in the 6th. 1, 2, 3 is north of 100 pitches. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left aboard. We appreciate you guys for jumping in with us tonight on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. Top of the 7th is around the corner. The Marines are coming to bat, and we'll be back with all the action in just a little bit after this musical timeout.
Last time we talked, you had nothing to say. You chose to walk, give what we had away. I hope you get what you're looking for, but babe, with me, you close the door on everything we could have been. Don't go thinking we could be
We got ourselves a 3-0 game for the Fighters. We're moving to the top of the 7th. We'll be back in just a few right after this. Welcome back, everybody. 64 pitches for Kohei Arihara through the first 6 innings as he takes over on the mound here again to begin inning number 7, as he'll face Kyoto Ueda, Koki Yamaguchi, and Toshiya Sato. And the first pitch is a changeup taken for a called strike. Counts 1-1. Our friend Not Olmec says we're significantly more interesting than the English one on FTF, which is, I believe, Friends to Friends. I don't know, Olmec. I've never actually listened to it. There's a ground ball hit softly over to first, fielded by Kiyomiya. He's going to win easily the race to the bag to retire Uedo on a ground out to 3. He's gone for out number 1, and that'll bring up the left fielder in Koki Yamaguchi. I don't know if they do a YouTube feed or if it's just straight up. I've heard people say that it's on delay. I don't know who calls the game, don't know anything about it. And I don't even know where I can get it. I know in the States that they have it, but I don't go to search it out or to listen to it or to see what it's all about, to be quite frank. Other than I've heard that they do games on delay, so I don't know what or who they're run by or how they're operated, but at least they're doing something to expand the game of the Japanese game to an English audience. There's a fastball that misses down and away, and the count is 1-0 to Yamaguchi. Yamaguchi tonight is 1 for 2. He has one of the 2 Marine hits. The other hit belongs to Neftali Soto. It's been a master class performed here so far by Arihara, as there's a changeup. This is down and away, and the count now goes to 2-0. So honestly, you really don't know what to expect or even what to say about some of that stuff. Here comes the 2-0 pitch as the right-hander kicks and fires. It's a fastball missing down. It's now 3-0 to Yamaguchi. Yamaguchi had some good swings last night in the ball game that we watched. He had a couple of doubles. And he also had that single here tonight to lead off the 2nd inning. It was a pretty good swing. Very impressive. Play box. Suzu says keep it under 8.5. As the 3-0 pitch is on the way, it's a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is 3-1. Not Olmec says, just nice to put more personality into the broadcast. Yeah, I really don't know, as I say, about those fellas there. I remember, sometimes when you listen to minor league games or you listen to different ones, people have their different styles, and some are good and some are so-so. There's a changeup taken for a called strike, and the count now goes full to Yamaguchi. And you look at some of the broadcasters that are out there. I really enjoy listening to some folks here and there. But I have to tell you, I was listening to the Fox broadcast tonight on the television, and I don't know who was calling the game on Fox, and I just had a hard time listening to it. I do listen to the Tigers, obviously, broadcast, being that I don't mind Jason Benetti. Dickinson's okay. I like the color commentators and Bobby Scales and Andy Dirks. There's a ground ball hit softly over to third, fielded by Arizona on the run. He throws to first, and Yamaguchi's retired. It's a ground out 5-3 for the second out of the inning. Let's go leave it up to the catcher and Toshiya Sato. Andy Dirks is a bit of a character. Obviously, his career with the Tigers was cut short. He had problem with his back, had back surgeries, and he couldn't perform to the level that needed to play at it. He was a big loss at the time. Pretty good defensive outfielder. Not Olmec says they're very by the books, like the Twins. Kruk and Girardi turns into a podcast, and it's quite ridiculous sometimes. And there's a fastball delivered to Sato when he lashes it into left field. That's going to be a base hit here with 2 gone. It's only the third hit recorded tonight by the Marines, and it's going to bring up the designated hitter in Neftali Soto. Ethan says, one away, boys. Let's go Fighters. Yeah, well, now there's 2 out here, but the thing is with Soto coming to the plate, one swing of the bat could cut the lead to 1. Soto has one of the other hits tonight for the Marines, 1 for 2. He's also struck out. 73 pitches for Arihara. I wonder how much gas he's got left in the tank here. Here's the pitch. First one's changeup swung on and missed, and the count quickly goes to 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. Again, the right-hander waggling the bat as Arihara works himself to the belt. Now delivers. It's a breaking ball missing down and away, and the count goes even to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Right-hander Arihara ready to go again, adjust the cap. As we said, a little bit of a breeze going on. You can see the player's jersey, Arihara's hair blowing up in behind his cap. Wonder how the game would play differently. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball swung on, grounded softly back to the pitcher. He comes off the mound to field it. He fires a bullet to first. That is going to retire Soto. It's a ground out 1-3 to end the inning, and that is going to do it here for the Marines in their half of the 7th. No runs in the inning. There was a hit, no errors, and there was 1 runner left aboard. We are now moving to the bottom of the 7th inning. Your score is the Marines with a trailing the Fighters 3-0. We'll be back in just a few. Appreciate you guys for listening in with us on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. It is NPB Baseball on the channel tonight. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back, everybody. The Marines have gone to their bullpen, as this will be the first change on the hill here tonight for either team. It's going to be number 37, Fumiya Ono, who is coming in. The right-hander taking over for Andre Jackson. So Ono on in relief, and he'll be entrusted to face Kitaro Kiyomiya, Yuki Nomura, and Naoki Arizono. So Fumiya Ono completing his tune-up tosses, and we are ready to get this one back underway. We're talking a little bit about some of the stuff we were talking earlier about, maybe if the MLB does lock out its players, will they pick up some of the Asian leagues? I mean, why not? Opportunity, at least for the Asian leagues, to build their audience. The audience would be as getting people out in the middle of the night. I don't know. Maybe they want to start shifting some of their games to, the potential of playing games in the afternoon. Why not switch an afternoon game so maybe ESPN or somebody would pick it up live? So first pitch fastball, take it for a called strike at the count 0-1 to Kiyomiya. And I look at it this way. Let's say, for example, 1 o'clock start in Japan becomes or 1 o'clock in the afternoon becomes a game that would be 9 o'clock Eastern or 9 o'clock Pacific or midnight Eastern. So you at least start to get some of the West Coast audience. People at 9 o'clock in the evening got nothing else to watch. What other live sports is there? Or maybe they even make an accommodation and have noon or 12:30 starts. And so people in the central or the mountain time zones might be able to catch a few innings at the early going anyway. The 1-1 pitch misses down, and the count now goes to 2 balls and a strike. That last pitch was at 95 miles an hour from Ono. Ethan asked the question in the last half inning, was it easy or hard play for the pitcher? I would say it was a routine play, but some pitchers have difficulties fielding. You also have to remember that the pitcher is the worst infielder in the infield. Fastball, take it for a called strike. Infielders, their job is paid to play defense. The pitcher's job is paid to pitch. So when a pitcher's got to come off the mound to make a play, yeah, they can field it, but they're not like the shortstops or the second baseman or third baseman who are wizards with the gloves. 2-2 pitch on the way. Breaking ball misses just outside, and the count goes to 3-2 on Kiyomiya. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. Yeah, Not Olmec makes a good point. He says Asian or European soccer works well. I remember when I first moved to the West Coast, they used to play triple headers of the English League on the radio, starting at 4:45 Pacific. You can get a game, and then the game would go off at 5 a.m. And you get another game at 7 a.m. and another game at 9. What a great way to start the day if you're into the soccer. I remember listening to games. I thought that was pretty unique. But then with all the stuff that soccer did going to DAZN and to some of the other places, there's a ball chopped right back to the pitcher. Ono fields it, throws to first, and Kiyomiya gone on a ground out 1-3. He's gone for the first out of the inning. So just looking at the plays tonight for the Fighters, they have bounced it back to the pitcher twice. So once to Jackson, now once to Ono. On the flip side of the coin, Kohei Arihara has had to field his position twice tonight. So the putouts between the two teams, 4 putouts have been assisted by the pitcher, 2 for each team. So here comes the first offering. And it's fastball swung on and is grounded just foul past the bag at third base. So no balls, 1 strike to Nomura. He hit that ball hard. So Olmec says, great opportunity for Asian baseball. Yeah, I would think so as well. I remember when I was in Tokyo, it would be 3 years ago, and I was at the Tokyo Dome, and this guy approached me, wanted to know if I wanted to get the Yomiuri Giants package. As there's a breaking ball swung on and popped up over on the first base side. Racing over underneath it is Sato. Is he going to have the room? Yes, he is. He's going to haul that one in, and that is going to retire Nomura on a pop-out for out number 2. Had to hang in and wait on that one as Shinto in the last half inning ran out of real estate. Yeah, that ball was pretty close. Nice play there by Sato right at the fence. Haul that one in. So 2 gone, and that is going to bring up the third baseman in Naoki Arizono. Well, for Arizona, he has 2 of the 4 Fighters hits tonight. He's got a double and a single to his name. He's raised his season average up to 450. He's 9 for 20. And there's a first pitch breaking ball taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. So back to the comments about the baseball getting an opportunity. I think it'd be a great thing. Great thing if they could do that. But I was saying about the Giants that I said, well, I'm in North America. Well, can I get something over there? And they said, oh no, we don't sell that package. There's a fastball swung on and lifted foul down the right field line. The count's 0-2. And I said to a buddy of mine today who lives in Europe, and I said, if you got 100,000 fans that are willing to pay $10 US for a month for revenue, that's $1 million that you would get in revenue, $1 million US. And you multiply that by 6 months of the year, so maybe you get 6 million in revenue. Maybe 6 million is pittance to these teams these days. I don't know. There's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count's 1-2 to Arizona. But if it were me, for 6 months of the year that you get to watch the Yomiuri Giants and you're paying $10 a month, if that's your team in North America, that's $1 million a year. Now, here's the other side of it. How many of those people are actually following the Giants and maybe getting pirated feeds? Paying nothing. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Breaking ball waved at and missed. Ono comes in and does his job as he retires the side 1-2-3. And that's going to be it for the Fighters here in their half of the 7th inning. They go in order with no runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left aboard. I'll be back in just a couple of moments. Our friend Not Olmec has added something else, and we'll come back and chat about that when we return in just a few. Your score as we move to the 8th inning, 3-0 for the Fighters. Stick around. Appreciate you guys for hanging in here with us on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. We'll be back in just a couple of moments.
I hear you been asking about me, where I've been and where I sleep. It's hard to find me if you really want to. Turns past that takes a cool sign. Same ball cap, same golden boots, trying to outrun the thought of you. But instead
Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the right-hander Arihara coming back out for his 8th inning of work. And our friend Ethan wants to know, do you think that he'll be able to go the distance at the rate he's going right now? He might be able to start the second end of a doubleheader if they had one, but I would think that they're probably going to keep the good karma and stay with them at least through this inning. Then he gets into the top of the order of the next inning, so we'll see what happens if the Fighters tack on another run or two. That might dictate whether he stays in the game or not. But I think there is a chance that he could get the complete piece. It is Isobata who has moved into center field, and it looks like Hosokawa has moved from center to left. Means Nomura's day is done, although I didn't see who is in at third base. Looks like there's a change over there as well for the Fighters. Unless, of course, they've moved Tamura to third, but I didn't see that move initially. Not Olmec asked the question, if the MLB is locked out, does that allow MLB players to play in other leagues? First pitch changeup misses down to Yasuda. Count is 1-0. Yasuda 0 for 2 tonight, struck out and popped to second in his 2 trips. Well, when you think about the National Hockey League a few years ago when they had their lockout, fastball taken for a called strike, the count goes to 1-1. and they shut the league down for the whole year. A lot of players ended up going over to play in Europe. But a lot of those guys were either out of contract, free agents, that type of stuff. They weren't under contract, if I remember correctly. Fastball swung on and tapped foul, so the count is 1-2. So when you look at Major League Baseball and you look at impending free agents, in theory, at the end of this year, those guys who are out of contract, free to do what they want. Go over, play in Asia, go play wherever you need to go and play. Guys who are under team control, that's a different kettle of fish. 1-2 pitch on the way. Changeup swung on and missed, and Ari Hara's got another strikeout. As that is out number 1 here, and that is going to bring up the second baseman in Ryusuke Ogawa. And if I remember correctly, I think that's the 8th strikeout recorded tonight by Ari Hara. So we shall see. So, I think guys that would have the opportunity to move if they had to, but reality is some of the leagues don't pay as much. In the Japanese league, well, there'd be more money there, but not as much in the Korean league, as there's a fastball taken for a called strike. The Korean league maxes the import money that you can make at $1 million, I believe, per player, per import player. Here comes the 0-1. Right-hander delivers. Fastball swung on and lifted foul into the seats down the left field line. The count now, no balls and 2 strikes. Ogawa 0 for 2 tonight. Grounded out and struck out in his 2 trips. They need base runners, do the Marines. They are running out of outs. Only 5 left to play with. Here's the 0-2. On the way, fastball swung on, bounced softly over towards the right side of the infield. And did he foul it off or what? No, I guess he fouled it off his shin guard. Everybody was moving to the right. And he made 0 effort to get out of the batter's box. So it looked like it was a foul ball. I didn't see it, nor did everybody else. But the replay doesn't lie, so not how to tell us the whole story right there. So no balls and 2 strikes. It remains to Ogawa. And the right-hander, Ari Hara, ready to go again. Pitch number 84 of the ball game upcoming. He kicks and he delivers. It is a fastball swung on. It is lifted into left field. Moving over underneath it is Hosokawa. He's there to make the catch, and Ogawa gone for the second out of the inning. Hosokawa was making that a little bit more adventuresome than he needed to do. So gone for out number 2 is Ogawa. That's going to bring up the shortstop in Tsuyoshi Yamazaki. Well, for Yamazaki tonight, he is officially 0 for 2. He has struck out looking and struck out swinging in his 2 trips. As the right-hander Ari Hara kicks and delivers, it's a breaking ball missing up and away, and the count is 1-0. Yamazaki batting from the left side here against the right-hander Ari Hara. Had a pretty solid game defensively for the Marines. Pitch on the way. There's a changeup that floats in for a called strike, and the count is 1-1 to Yamazaki. Ari Hara gets his signal, goes back to work. There's a fastball on the inside corner. Looked like a 2-seamer with all the backdoor run it had. We'll get a look at that one again. Nice pitch there from the veteran right-hander. He's been a masterful performer tonight. Here comes the 1-2 as he works himself to the set. And the pitch is on the way. It is a fastball swung on and lifted foul into the seats over on the third base side. 1-2 it remains to Yamazaki. So if you've just joined us late, it's been a quick one here tonight, knock on wood. Only 2 hours and 7 minutes. It's been a well-pitched game by Kohei Arihara. Even Andre Jackson on most nights would have given his team a chance to win. And there's a split-finger pitch swung on and missed. Yamazaki's in the books. He's gone for the 3rd out of the inning. Strikeout number 9 recorded by Arihara. And that is going to do it here in the 8th. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left the board. We'll see if he comes out for the 9th, but we are going to the bottom half of inning number 8. Fighters ahead 3-0. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back with all the action in just a few on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. You're enjoying watching the NPB live tonight from Hokkaido. We'll be right back after this timeout.
So high.
It has been a pitching masterclass put on by Kohei Arihara tonight, and we'll be back in just a few with all the action right after this timeout. Welcome back, everybody. It is a pitching change that we are expecting here, as we are just waiting on confirmation if Fumiya Ono is coming back out for another inning. But all fingers are pointing to Arihara coming back out for another inning in inning number 9. There's nobody up and throwing in the bullpen for the Fighters. Good old-fashioned baseball, the way we like to watch it be played. And the Fighters are looking like they are going to be going with Arihara to open it up and close it out. So our friend earlier asked us, Evan says, who is the closer or Ethan asked us, who is the closer for, it doesn't really much matter because it looks like Arihara is going to be the closer and the starter and everybody else here tonight. Right-hander Keisuke Sawada is coming in relief. He'll be the third pitcher used tonight for the Chiba Lotte Marines. So Sawada on in relief as he will be facing the 8, 9, and 1 hitters in the batting order. And the first pitch is a breaking ball that just misses low for ball 1-0 to Kamikawa Kawada. Kamikawa Kawada is 0 for 2 tonight. He has struck out looking and flown to right field in his 2 trips. As the pitch is on the way, it's a breaking ball missing down, and the count now goes to 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes. Yeah, it's been pretty amazing pitching tonight. That is for certain. To me, it is Arihara's game to win or to lose. You don't have to worry about goofing around with going to the bullpen. He is your bullpen. Fastball taken for a called strike, and the count now 2-1 to Kamikawa. To close this one out this evening for the Fighters, I should say, against the Marines. Here's the 2-1. Pitch on the way. Fastball taken for a called strike. Count now goes to 2-2 on Kamikawa. Fighters fans enjoying what they've seen. They had the open dome today. Sunshine was pouring in. Nice breeze. As the 2-2 pitch on the way. And as the fastball swung on, it's grounded right back to the pitcher. Sawada fields it. He throws to first, and we got another pitcher assist here on a ground out. It's going to go in the books a 1-3 on the putout. That'll bring up Yuya Shinto to hit. Just doing some quick math here. 27 outs in the ball game, and once you take out the strikeouts, and we were talking about this before, we say usually pitchers are involved with about 21 21 to 23% of all the plays. The pitcher's got to field his position. First pitch, breaking ball taken for a called strike. Count is 0-1 to Shinto. And I say that because when you look at how the pitchers handle the ball, you got to get those as cheap outs. If they can't handle their position, it just makes it a huge, huge issue. Breaking ball misses inside. The count goes to 1-1. So you need pitchers to be able to field their positions, take care of the baseball, if it's important for you to be able to have success. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. Sawada kicks and delivers. Fastball swung on and missed. Count goes to 1-2 on Shinto. Right now, by my scorecard, it is 6 strikeouts recorded by the Marines pitchers. Koi Arihara tonight, by my count, has 9 strikeouts, so 15 of the potential 51 outs. Make that another strikeout here. Now it's 16 of the potential 51 outs come via the strikeout, as that pitch is waved at and missed by Shinto for the second out of the inning and bring up the top of the order in Hatsuki Mizuno. So let's say, for example, of the 51 outs in this game, assuming that the bottom of the ninth is not played, 51 outs, 17 strikeouts. That means a third of the game, a third of the outs have been recorded by the strikeout. That leaves you 34 outs. And of the 34 outs tonight, 5 of the 34 outs have been recorded by or have had an assist credited to the pitcher. If we were able to get one more, then that starts to put us into that range I was talking about earlier of 21 to 23%. Pitcher's going to be involved in some sort of play during the game. There's a breaking ball that misses down. Count even at 1-1 to Mizuno. So again, the pitcher's got to be able to field their position effectively. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Mizuno here, batting with 2 gone in the 8th inning. Here comes the offering from Sawada, who kicks and delivers. It's a breaking ball swung on, grounded just foul past the bag at first base. That's going to run the count to 1-2. If you're joining us late, 3-0, the Fighters are enjoying the lead here in the bottom of the 8th inning. It's been a pretty quick and quiet game. And if you're a fan of the Fighters, that's probably how you want it to end, quietly and quickly. So 1 ball and 2 strikes it is to the left-handed hitting Mizuno as Sawada works himself to the belt. And here comes the 1-2 pitch. On its way, breaking ball swung on and lifted foul into the seats on the third base side. The count remains at 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes it is. And it is Arihara who's up and throwing in front of the dugout, so that means that he is going to be coming back in for inning number 9, and why wouldn't he? Here's the 1-2. Pitch on the way. Fastball swung on and missed, and that is going to retire Mizuno for the 3rd out of the inning, and that takes us up to, what did I say, 17 strikeouts now in the ball game between the 2 teams. So effectively 1/3 of the outs via the strikeouts. We'll see if there's any more in this one here that might bring that number down. Your scores, we're moving to the top of the 9th. It is the Fighters 3 and the Marines no score. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a few to bring this one home for you on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. It is Marines and Fighters. More action when we return after this musical timeout.
I am waiting for a bus at the end of the night, under street lamp, bed
We're moving to the bottom of inning number 9, or top of inning number 9. I should say Marines coming to bat, and we'll be back in just a couple of moments after this. Welcome back, everybody. There's only one other game currently underway. It is in the top of the 5th inning at the Tokyo Dome. The Giants have a 1-0 lead over the Bay Stars. All the other games go off later this evening, and that is the Lions and the Buffaloes, the Eagles and the Hawks, the Carp and the Dragons, and the Swallows and the Tigers. First pitch is a breaking ball missing up and away to the leadoff hitter here, and that would be Kyoto Fujiwara. So 1 ball and no strikes. Fastball misses down and in. The count now goes to 2-0. Are some changes defensively, as it looks like Kawabata has moved over to third base. I have to take a look to see who the defensive replacement is for the Fighters at second. As the pitch is on the way, and it is a fastball taken for a called strike. The count now goes to 2-1 on Fujiwara. So 2 balls and 1 strike. Looks like it is it Hosokawa in at second base? I'm not sure if they have moved that around. There is a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count now goes to 2-2 on Fujiwara. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Arihara getting the sign from his catcher, Shinto. Pitch number 94 of the ball game upcoming here. Here comes the 2-2. On its way, fastball swung on, lifted into straightaway center field. It's playable, backing up underneath it and making the catch is Isobata. That's going to retire Fujiwara for the first out of the inning. So 1 up and 1 away. That is going to bring up Misho Nishikawa to the plate. Only 3 hits so far in this one for the Chiba Ball Club. As Nishikawa strides to the dish, he is 0 for 3 tonight. He's looking for his first hit. 94 pitches now for the right-hander. It has been a pretty efficient, workman-like game for the pitchers here tonight. First pitch, fastball, that backs Nishikawa off the plate for ball 1. 1-0 to the right fielder of the Marines. Arihara ready to go back to work again. He kicks and he delivers. It's a fastball swung on, chopped softly over to third. Kawabata, who was busy at second, now busy over at third, makes the throw to first. It's a great pick by the first baseman, Kiyomiya. It's going to go down as a ground out 5-3. It was in the dirt. Nice play there by the first baseman. He is winning. He's worth his weight in gold here tonight defensively, and that's going to leave it up to the third baseman in Kyoto Uedo. So now the Marines are down to their final out. As Arihara adjusts his cap, looking to try to shut out the ball club in under 100 pitches. But it looks like a pinch hitter is coming to the plate. It looks like Uedo has done it. Is going to be Inoue, who is getting a chance to pinch hit. Hitting a .141 on the year. I believe Seiya Inoue is the name. Fastball swung on and grounded foul over on the third base side. Actually, it's Kota Inoue. So emptying the bench here. So no balls and 1 strike to Inoue. Arihara again leading in, getting the sign from his catcher. Works himself to the belt, and here comes the 0-1. Pitch on the way. Fastball misses upstairs, and the count goes to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Our friend Tink asked the question, what other team do I like today? Well, I'm not going to comment on the Bay Stars and the Giants. They're already going in that one there. As there's a fastball swung on and lifted foul, and the count now goes to 1-2. So now down to their final strike are the Marines. Well, just taking a quick peek at the starters for tonight's game. Interesting that Ogasawara was going tonight for the Giants. He's come back from Major League Baseball. It is Walters against Shimamura. I don't know if I like Nash Walters in that one. I would probably stay away from the Swallows. Adua against Yanagi. Game is at the Mazda Stadium. Fastball swung on, grounded over to first. Kiyomiya makes the play. It's a ground out to 3 to end the ball game, and that is going to do it. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left aboard. I'll come back and give you some comments, and I'll answer Tink's question in just a few. Your final score is 3-0 for the Fighters over the Marines. Stick around, everybody. I'll come back and try to help our friend Tink out. But if I had to say right off the top, I would probably go with the Hawks. Maeda against Itsuki. I think I would take the Hawks a little later tonight. Hang tight, everybody. We'll be back to wrap it up in this one. Your final score, the Fighters with a 3-0 lead over the Marines. We'll be right back after this timeout.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Namaste. Hey, I hope you guys have been enjoying the game. My name is Hollis. I've got a YouTube channel called Another Hollis Build. I love baseball cards. I open up brand new product for you guys. I open up old stuff. I do breaks. I do auctions. All kinds of stuff concerning baseball. I'm Friars faithful, Padres to the end. I also love Garbage Pail Kids and my animals. I have a ton of animals. It's like a mini petting zoo here around my house. I also love my city. San Diego, baby. I'll take you all around the city and show you what's up. If you guys dig stuff like that, cruise on over and check it out. It's Another Hollis Build. If you dig it, subscribe. I'd really appreciate to have more follow me along on the journey. Hey, either way, you guys have a wonderful day or a beautiful, beautiful evening. No matter which one it is, make sure that you make it great, my friends. Big up Last Raps Baseball. Yeah, Freddie, let's go. One love and peace. Yeah, man.
Welcome back, everybody. Our friend Katie Law jumped in here and said, how many innings did Andre pitch tonight? Jackson went 6 innings, just over 100 pitches. On most nights, he probably would have done enough to win, but not on this night. It's hard to win games when your team can't score you any runs. We'll give you the rundown on this one. We'll take a look at the only alone game that's going on in the NPB, and we'll call it a night. Our friend Gracie Lynn said she was MIA. We just thought she fell asleep on us. We were putting her to sleep listening to the call of this one because after the third inning, it was a bit of a snoozer. The runs got going in the second inning. After 1 out, it was a walk to Kiyomiya. And then with 2 out, up stepped Naoki Arizono, and he drove a double into the right center field gap. It was able to plate Kiyomiya with the first run of the ball game. Fighters were up 1-0. Third inning, with 1 out, it was a base hit by Tatsuki Mizuno. After Hosokawa flew out, it was Franmil Reyes stepping up and depositing a 2-run shot into the seats, and that made the final. That was the score, 3-0, and that was where it ended in this one. Our friend Katie Law said, how many had a commercial? Andre Jackson went 6 strong innings tonight, although he did give up the 3 runs. He threw just over 100 pitches in the ball game. As we said, good enough to win in a lot of cases, just not in the case tonight. When your team can't score any runs for you, that is a problem. The Marines tonight had no runs. They had 3 hits, and they didn't make any errors, so pretty clean a defensive night for both of these teams. On the flip side, the Fighters had 3 runs in the ballgame, and they only had 4 hits, no errors, so pitching was at a premium here in this one tonight. Kohei Arihara gets the win. He goes to 3-6 on the season. Andre Jackson gets tagged with the loss. He falls to 7-7. Again, your final score, 3-0 for the Fighters. Taking a quick peek at that out-of-town scoreboard again before we call it a night here. The only other game that is currently going on, it is between the Bay Stars and the Giants. They're in the bottom of the 5th inning at the Tokyo Dome, and the Giants have themselves a 1-0 lead in that one. Gracie Lynn says a day in the tropical sun and a chill and go on the recliner are not a good combo for staying awake. I would agree with that. Our friend also says that it wasn't you just been out in the sun with friends for most of the day. That'll do it to you. Our friend Katie Law at the end of the night said, anybody here? Yeah, we're here, but at the end of the night, we're wrapping it up and we're calling it a night. Our friend Gracie Lynn says, always sucks to have a technical quality start and then not get anything. Have a great night as well. We appreciate you guys for popping in. We'll try to do the game tomorrow in the wee hours of the morning, which would be about 5 o'clock Eastern. So if you happen to be up, rise and shine, maybe check us out. If we are on, it'll be the Buffaloes and the Eagles. That is the only game in town, the only show in town, if we're able to get up and do that game. If not, it'll be the weekend, next weekend, that we'll try to get a couple of the Japanese games. We'll be traveling back to the left coast. Have a great night, everybody. And Gracie Lynn, we look forward to seeing you again next week. And hopefully maybe we'll do MLB, but definitely on the NPB next weekend. Have a great night, everybody, and we'll see you again soon.